people the right to hate people because they're different. That's what you're saying.
No, of course that's not what I'm saying.
Exactly. That's retarded. So it's retarded to assume that just because you point out distinctions that I'm going to proliferate or prolong racism. First off, I didn't even start. My people didn't start racism. Your people did. Your people started racism in order to justify manifest destiny and the colonialistic plans that y'all had for the globe that y'all been going through for the last 500 years and continuing. So that's not my fault. That's you and your people's fault, man. That has nothing to do with me, so you can't stick that shit on me. You gotta get it, you and your fucking people. And if you're a good if you're a good person, let's get rid of white and black and those social statuses, right? Since you want to play these games. If you're a good person, why wouldn't you guys, who are a specific demographic of people, stand the fuck up and stop this shit? You guys got gay people the right to marry like fucking that. But we still have to vote every 30 years for my people to have the right to vote. That's fucking retarded. Okay? So these are issues that you guys need to fix. You guys brought the problems and put it on our doorstep and brought it into our house. You guys took your fucking shit and you wiped it and smeared it all over the fucking walls. You smeared it on everybody. And then you walk around and like you didn't do anything. And then you blame everybody else and say everybody else got to come up with a reason or some type of scheme to clean this shit up when it's your feces everywhere. What are you talking about, man?
I get what you're saying, but I don't get what you're saying about my people. I don't buy the paradigm. What I am...
And conquer these lands.
Dude, pay attention to what I asked.
What? I asked you a question, bro. What people came over here to this hemisphere and conquered these lands? I'm asking you a simple question.
I understand what you're saying, but are you...
Oh my God, man.
I don't understand the point. I'm trying to go forward, right?
Bro, I just need you to answer the question for me. What?
Black Lives Matter, left and right. Go to white communities and fix this problem. But I go to white communities and I give them your arguments and they point out all the flaws.
You've never given anyone my arguments because you've never spoken to me before.
Yeah, I'm trying to get your argument, but you won't give me a definition of what...
I've shown you what it is. I've given you the general social context. Let's stop playing this game. You know what black people are. When I asked you, what color of law is, what you shout into your goddamn cock-sucking walkie-talkie when you see a nigga doing some mischief or you think he's doing some mischief, what you type in your walkie-talkie, black man. Come on, man. Don't play these games, man. This is retarded. I thought we were gonna have it. I thought we were really having a productive conversation, and you started doing this shit. Stop doing, bro.
American policing operating...
Hello?
Yeah, is American policing operating under the paradigm and direction of white supremacy?
Yes.
Okay, so if that is the case, what are you doing when you operate and proliferate that same paradigm?
I don't operate and proliferate white supremacy because I cannot oppress my own people. Well, hold on. Hold on. Let me oh my Lord. I cannot finish a statement without you jumping in. Let me just finish, King. White supremacy and racism are one and the same thing. I cannot be a racist. I cannot be a white supremacist. I have no way to institutionally oppress you. I don't even have the desire to. I don't even think my people have the desire to. We just want to be away from y'all because it's fucking stressful. This is the thing. There is nowhere on the face of the earth where you can show us oppressing you. The only thing, even if you want to bring up South Africa, I was hoping you would bring that up. That is not reverse racism. That's not racism. I don't know if that's your argument or not. I just want to make that clear. That is those Aboriginal people of that land reclaiming their territory that your ancestors went over and took and had no goddamn right to take.
Yeah, those are excellent rants and claims.
No, it's not a rant and a claim. Those are facts. This is historical fact. Colonialization is a fact. Genocide is a fact. It happened. and Europeans carried it out.
Okay. So what? We're not arguing.
That's the problem. You guys' attitude is so what? You guys have no remorse about anything you've done and continue to do.
An emotional
You have no remorse for anything that you guys have done or continue to do. You have no ability to correct yourselves. So this conversation of what we need to do is pointless because you guys on your end of the bargain will never do it.
I don't know what that means. So
I know. I've understood that for the last 15 minutes.
Listen, every single police officer that worked with me when I was working in instituting white supremacy worked for an entire chain of command of black people. Our lieutenants were black, our majors were black, our politicians were black, our mayor was black, our state's attorney was black.
And guess what? They work within a system, do they not? Are you familiar with the term coons or sellouts? Are you familiar? Are you familiar with those terms? I mean, you guys on your end, you guys call them traitors. You understand? Like when a guy goes against his country, you guys call them traitors. That's what we call them because we're our own nation of people, and we have sellouts as well.
Right. So are they called black by the prejudice in the same way?
Yes, they are black people. They are black people.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't have the power to institute this, but I'm giving you a direct...
We don't, because we don't control this system. It's you guys running the system. Those little minions, they take orders from the guys higher up. Barack Obama, and first of all, Barack Obama is an African. He's not our people. All melanated people are not the same nation of people or tribe of people. He is an African Aboriginal. The majority of Negroes over here are Aboriginals to the Americas. That is a fundamental difference. That's what you guys don't understand. Just like you guys have Germans and Belgians and Czechoslovakians and Croatians, and even though that's false, we have those distinctions. And we're more justified in having them because we have more genetic variation. You guys are more limited than us.
So we got a bit more definition of black, I guess. So can we get a definition that I could go explain to other people?
No, I think they'll understand from the gist of the conversation when they hear it. I got a better one for you. Why don't you tell me what your understanding of what black is?
Yeah, I mean, it's a social construct instituted by white supremacy, and by operating in that paradigm, you are operating in the social structure, the entire the entire properties of that.
How am I operating in the paradigm when I'm just using the terminology?
Right. So I
don't personally associate it with it.
Can I answer the question?
Wait, hold on. I don't personally associate with it, like I've said multiple times. However, the general population and their understanding, they understand the context for which I use the term. So I communicate to people at a general level that they all can understand. You're the only one playing stupid right now.
Okay, so the reason why I think it's a problem is because when someone is arguing from a position where they say they have the more rational position and other people can't achieve that because they have some kind of objective knowledge or right or privilege that other people can't have. So you're essentially describing...
Who said that?
No, this is just an argument. This is a logical argument.
Yeah, but you're presenting. I just want to point this out. You're presenting a position, a straw man, which is not my position. So I just want to point that out. So you're going to be arguing with yourself because I can't answer for those people. You're talking to me, not Black Lives Matter.
When the whole purpose of races was to create another system of labeling and othering. And as soon as we other people, that's how the power structure and the elite continue to win, because we spend our time fighting one another instead of
wait. So because there are, and this gets back into my previous argument, right? Not even just 10 minutes ago. So because you point out distinctions, because there are distinctions, that's a justified reason to hate somebody or discriminate them against them because of that physical or social or whatever, any other distinction.
Dude, I have obviously never made that claim. I write.
All right, so now you know how I feel when you keep coming up with these straw man arguments as if that's my position. I'm not Black Lives Matter. That's retarded.
I never claimed you were, bro.
So why bring it up? Why bring it up so I have to argue for them? That's setting up you know what a straw man argument is, right?
I didn't bring up Black Lives Matter as comparison to you, okay?
So why? All right, so let me understand. All right, so that's good that you said that. Okay, so let me understand why you brought up Black Lives Matter to begin with.
I didn't. You gave me an example of what people.
You did. You did. You brought up You're the only one who mentioned Black Lives Matter. I didn't mention Black Lives Matter at all. You were the one who threw that into the conversation.
Okay, who cares?
I do because you're setting. No, hang on, because I got to point this out. You're setting up like you do. You know what straw man arguments are, right?
Of course I do.
All right, so what so that means that you're conscious that you're doing it because you're aware of what it is. You're setting up straw man arguments, and you're trying to make me fit into the fucking the corporate man, and I'm not going to wear that suit because that's not my position. I study too much to be bottled into that position. So deal with me on that position
under their paradigm.
No, I'm not. I'm talking to people at the paradigm that they understand, so that I can lead them out of that paradigm. If I don't go to the people to meet them there, I cannot lead them to the water hole. I can't stand by the water hole and yell to the fucking people and hope that they come to me. I got to go to where they're at. I got to talk to the level that they're at, and then I got to build them up and raise them up so that they can get out of the fucking sunken place. That's how this works. That's how you teach people.
Right. So essentially what I think you're doing is you're, to quote a friend of mine, you're centralizing the problem of oppression, and especially with identity-based oppression, racism, sexism, misogyny, and from which they adapt their political norms, those for the individual collective life, but in doing so, they are not resisting the problem they claim to identify, but are perpetrating it. Pretending to put themselves in a position of the elites because you claim you have more knowledge than the rest of us.
Wait, I said I have more knowledge than you. Apparently on this subject matter, right? I didn't say everyone or all people. First off, you're setting up another straw man. I see you doing it right now. I'm going to stop you from building it. I let you build the last one, and we went on a 20-minute tangent for no reason. So I'm going to cut this one down at the fucking ankles, okay? First off, me and my people are fighting against a paradigm and a philosophy that you and your people brought over here, okay? That's the facts. You didn't get us from Africa. We were here.
And I don't know anything about that. So
all right, and then what's going to happen is after we're done here, I'm going to send you over a host of books that you can study yourself and look into, and then you can verify or prove wrong. And then if you do, we can come back again, and you can put me in the fucking chokehold. You understand what I'm saying right now? Because right now, like, you're not doing too well, King.
Right, so the expectation here is that instead of you making a claim and supporting it, you want me to review your appeal to authority. That doesn't make much sense, brother.
No, it does, because I made a claim and you're claiming that we don't know whether or not that's true. So I'm telling you, I have these sources for you to look into to verify the fact that I'm telling you. That's how this works. How do you? Hold on. When you brought up peer reviewed, what is the process for which something gets peer reviewed? You remember you brought up peer reviewed, so I'm going to bring that back on you, right? You got to let me do this to you, okay? What is the process of something being peer reviewed? Just give it to us simply.
Basically, what happens is somebody writes a paper, they cite their sources from the literature, the scientific literature that's already been peer reviewed. They then submit that to a scientific journal. I know this is biased. This is not my claim. That's not biased.
No, this is excellent. I'm agreeing with it. This is totally agreeable because in the books, that's what a damn bibliography is for. You understand what I'm saying? You know what a bibliography is, right?
Dude.
So if you know what a bibliography is, what is it? Because it's going to mirror exactly what you're saying right now. Do you understand? This is why I brought it up.
So the peer review process continues by having other people who have done peer-reviewed papers and have been through the program and have been verified and fought against with others. They review it and then question it and try to find flaws in the argument. It is then put into published literature so that all the other scientists and all the goals of scholars out in the field is to attack that paper and disprove it. That is the process.
Fabulous.
Now, what I'm trying to say is this is all a distraction from the original discussion.
Wait. What is it?
I need a definition.
What is
black?
What is the distraction? Because I've given you multiple definitions of what black is. I've even narrowed it down for you to pigmentation and phenotype. And I've told you to choose, and you said you didn't want to. So I'm going to ask you again. If you want me to define what black is, there's two contexts for which we can explore together. Okay? Do you want to explore pigmentation, or do you want to explore phenotype?
I don't care what your definition starts with. I am asking you for
in order for me to give it to you, I gotta have you pick and choose one.
I don't understand why you don't already know the definition to the paradigm.
What I'm saying is, I don't understand how you don't understand what the definition of what black is, and you work for the cops. How long you work for the police? 12 years? 10 years?
What? How is that relevant to your
because you know what color of law is. I haven't had an inability to do anything. You're the only one who's had the inability to hold an intellectual conversation without trying to set up straw man traps that are too easy to see. This is not even fun for me. This is why I'm getting frustrated. I thought this was going to be fun because I thought you were caliber.
All right, so your primary claim is that you don't want to operate under the system that my white supremacist ancestors and stuff has established,
and current generation.
So again,
your current people perpetuated, so it hasn't stopped.
Okay, fine. So explain to me that why you are going to give the power to me to define what black is.
It's already defined what black is. I would not hold on. No. I'm not making you define anything because the social structure has already defined it for us. It's a general individuals don't just make up what black is. There's a historical social. That's my point.
Power structure.
I'm not letting anything. I'm letting history. First off, if it was up to me, I wouldn't even use that term. But again, I'm going to repeat what the fuck do you think this is? What the fuck do you think all these books are? What the fuck do you think all this is? Why do you think I explained to you I'm water hole and yell to my people who are lost, deaf, dumb, and blind and hope that they come? I gotta go meet them where they're at and speak to them at the intellectual level that they're at and communicate with the level that they're at. When it comes to your people, I don't give a fuck what your people understand. I don't care about them because I'm not here to teach them. I'm here to teach my people. Period. End of story. I didn't establish what black and white. That's what your people did. Your people made up black and white during the early 1900s in order to establish a socio-political economic distinction between themselves and the freedmen. You guys were scared of fucking competition, so you had the immigrant Irish and Italians. You absorbed them into the white social structure. You absorbed the Asian people into the white social structure, and you gave them jobs and social